I've been a little obsessed with the total palette of light, which in shorthand, that's the rainbow. So it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And what's so interesting and also challenging about doing a commission is tuning in to the things that you are genuinely passionate about at the time, and also really, really giving great consideration to the client and their life, the things that interest them, the space where the piece is going to go. And it's a bit like where the river meets the sea. You know, what strange fruit are you going to find there? So commissions are particularly exciting because you're being challenged right out to your edge. The client is particularly interested in the colour yellow going through to orange and saffron. So I thought, well, let's get some saffron and dissolve it in water and see what happens. And this wonderful natural phenomenon where you drop saffron in, you get this kind of little meniscus around the edge, which is incredibly vivid yellow. And then it goes right into the stamens, which are very, very deep, almost dark red. So I thought, wow, I want to do a piece about that colour shift between the yellow going all the way through to dark red. So that's what the piece is at the top. And again, technically that was quite challenging to get the shifts, because although subtle, it goes from very acid yellow through to a sort of mid-orange, and then it's actually deepening towards a saffron orange and then going to red. So coordinating that took a lot of colour tests, and it's really, really pushed my understanding of colour. So that's been fantastic. And then the idea was that the bottom piece, more multiplied with smaller pots. I was thinking about, again, always thinking about water and the sea, also thinking about grass, and the idea of an expansive space that's kind of the same, but kind of not, because of the way that the wind blows grass or light works on the surface of water, you know, it glints and stuff. So my idea on the bottom was I would do a sort of like a rainbow mix, like a rehash of the whole color spectrum. And I did that, and it wasn't working. I just did not think it was working, particularly on the black surface. So it was a very precarious moment where it was like, right, I've got all these pots, all made, but I'm actually looking at raw material. What am I going to do now? And what was interesting was that the piece at the top was finished and established. So that was very much the piece that was rooting the starting point. So I didn't panic. Well, I did a bit, but I just breathed my way through that and really looked at the piece above and what was happening in relation to the shelf below, and tried various things, using all the pots simply as raw material, using colour as raw material. And it became very obvious after a while that what I really wanted to do was increase the radiance of the yellow, sort of bring that down to the bottom shelf as well. And so then it just flowed very, very naturally from that, about almost mirroring what was going on at the top, just letting it shift and flow all the way over to the other shelf. So you've got the yellow going through orange, going through the darker orange, and then going red all the way to the very end. And basically having that trio of colours, yellow, orange and red, basically intersect into the other half of the rainbow, which is green, blue, indigo, violet. So if you were to take out all of the red and the orange and the yellow, you would basically see an even distribution of the second half of the rainbow. But what I find so intriguing, and I was not expecting, was how the mood of what's happening over there, the yellow end, is so different from the pure red end. So I'm thrilled by this piece because it had an outcome that I hadn't anticipated or expected.